Hello everyone, this is Paula again, and I just want to thank everybody for basically reaching out and telling me how much they appreciated the tutorials that I did yesterday or the other day and posted. But today I'm coming to you because of my leftover tomato skins. I'm going to show you how I go and process and dehydrate these. These are actually my leftover tomato skins that I have taken off. I've placed them in a pan or a pot, set in the refrigerator until today. I usually do those or try to do these at least a couple of days prior, or not prior, but after I have done my tomatoes. I do not leave these in the refrigerator for very long. You want to try to process these as soon as you can. But as you can see, they're just the, tomato skins that I've saved. And this is my product. Of course I have a air absorber in there as well. And it helps keep some of the moisture out. But if you can see, this is my tomato flakes after I have dried them and crushed them up into a food processor. You can actually take these and take a step forward after you dehydrate them and put these through a sifter and probably have your powder, but I choose not to do that because it's just a little more aggravating for me, so I use it this way. These can be used in soups and stews, and that's what I use them for. Okay, this is just one way that I dehydrate my skins, and as you can see, they are working really well. See, look at how that's flaked up, but you want them really crisp. This is in my air oven fryer. As you can see, these right here still have a good bit of moisture on them, so we'll be keeping check on these as well. I have some in the oven. This is actually put on around 225, and I just keep turning the timer on around 60 minutes and checking it frequently. Okay, here's the other way that I do it, and this is in my oven. Woo! Steam. And this is how they are. You just let them dry out and cook at the lowest temperature setting in your oven as possible. And the oven eventually dries these out and they become brittle and flaky. See, like this one right here. See that one? See how that one is? See? And that's what you want, but you want it to where the moisture is completely out of that skin. So it does take some time. Now this one, you see how this you do not want to do. I did this earlier, and of course some of those I'm going to have to throw away. You don't want to get to this. The temperature was too hot on the bottom. So, but you want to see how I'm doing these. These are how I'm doing them. It takes some time. You have to watch the stove and the ovens to process these. You really do. But this is how I process my tomato skins. And again, I get them like this, and I put them in a jar. I don't know if you can really see how that is, that consistency. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for that for the tomato skins to be where you can crush them up like that. Okay, I'll continue to check these tomato skins, and we'll continue to watch them throughout the day and dehydrate them in the oven. Hey guys, this is the second part of me dehydrating tomatoes. The first one showed you kind of how I take them from the container that I stored in the fridge while during the processing of my tomatoes to store them in the fridge until I can process the skins at a later time. It also, you can go back and look at it. It shows where I laid them on baking sheets. I lined the baking sheets with parchment paper or wax paper. You can do either one. It doesn't really matter. And then I lay the tomato skins on the parchment paper or baking sheet. Okay. This right here is fairly some new ones that I put on here, and as you can see, they're still kind of moist. And this is in my air fryer oven. Okay, guys. I thought I had showed all this earlier in my clip, but I think I must have deleted the clip by mistake. So I'm showing you that. Okay, now here is some that have begun to, as you can see, they've begun to get crisp. See that? This is what you kind of want. You want them kind of, well, this needs to be dried out a little bit, but see how it's starting to get crisp, okay? And that's what you want. So I've set this air fryer oven on 250. The air fryer oven and the baking oven that you have, conventional oven, is different. So just know that. But this is my Chefman air fryer oven that I am doing the tomato skins on. And hopefully I don't say potato. I don't know why. For some reason or another, sometimes I get so caught up in trying to say things fast and I say potato instead of tomato. So anyway, I'm going to show you. These were some that I pulled out earlier, and I told you that was probably going to be too much. I had set the temperature a little too high on the oven and walked off and left it. You have to pay close attention to these. But see how this is? See how it flakes? That's what you're going to want. That's what you're going to want. You want it very crisp, or where you can just stick it in your hands and do it that way. See? Okay? And some of these I still may be able to use, but some I may not. See how you did that? That all will go into a food processor. I'll pick through these. The dark ones that I can't salvage, I'll throw them away. But you can see now that might still have a little bit of moisture into it, so I might have to put that back in the oven. And some you'll have to do that sometimes as well. Okay. Let me show you this. Okay. Let me show you. And my oven is dirty, so okay. You see the difference here. These are moist tomato skins right there. And these are some that has already begun to dehydrate. See? These are some that has already begun to dehydrate and dry out. That is what you want. You want them to dry out in flakes like that. You see? Like I said, with the oven, you have to pay close attention to these. See? You want them very, very dry so that they are brittle and that you can just crumble them up like that. But you want the whole skin to be able to do that. So pay close attention to your oven if you're doing this in the oven, and pay close attention to your air fryer. You don't want them too crisp at one time. You may have to, see that one was good. See how that is? That's what you want right there. You'll take those out and you will let them cool once they are done, and then put them in a food processor for tomato flakes. If you want to take it a step further to tomato powder, at that point when you're blending them and have blended them up in a food processor, you'll take the flakes after that and put them through a sifter. My suggestion with the sifter part is that you have a specific sifter that you do this with every time, that you don't use the same sifter that you are sifting flour with. Okay, guys? So that is what we got so far. Look at there. See those tomato skins? See? Now see some of these I need to go ahead and take out. And that's what you'll have to do. You'll have to come back and check these periodically to make sure that they're not getting too brown. See? But that's what you want. So These are the dehydration and dehydrating of my tomato skins. Okay, now I'm coming back, and I am, of course, trying to peel them off of, if they're stuck to the wax paper, I'm trying to peel them off the wax paper for a little bit. And you may have to do this now with parchment paper, probably not so much, but I noticed with the wax paper I do have to do that. And you could probably spray a little bit of cooking spray, just a light coating, but I just choose not to do that because I don't want that on my tomato skins. But I'm just pulling them off of this parchment paper. They're still quite moist. As you can see, some of them are still quite moist. But if you'll just peel them up like this, later on as they get stiff and start to dehydrate more, you'll see that. It's not so much to take them up. So, all right, we'll put them back in the dehydrator, or the, excuse me, the oven fryer, because that's where these are. These seem to be okay for now. I've been checking these already periodically, so it seems like that top rack dries out faster than the bottom rack. But I'm going to set these back like that. Turn my heat back around on my timer. Okay. And then let's check these. See what they look like. All right. Those are looking good. Still need some time. You know, this is a slow process, of course. Really slow process that you have to just kind of go through and try to get. Now this oven, when you're doing it with the conventional oven, they do get very hot. So just be careful about that. And those look to be about the same, so we're gonna leave those, I think, like that. All right, guys, that's what's going on with the tomato dehydration process. Hey everyone, I am back. I'm going to show you what I've got right now, and as you can see, this is what we got right now in the tomato skins. Okay, they are, some are crisp, some are a little bit more crisper than others. See how that is? That's what you want right there. You want to be able to crumble them up, have them crumbly like this right here. See that one right there? See, it ain't crumbling so easy. So we're gonna have to put that back in the oven. That one too. After you take them out and you sit them on the counter for a little while, see how it crumbles up? You'll find out whether or not they truly are ready. And the ones that aren't, just stick them back in the oven. Stick them back in the oven so that you can get them really good and crisp. See, that one ain't. That one's still moist. Okay? If you can do that right there, then they are ready. See? They are ready if you can do that. And that's what we're looking for. So, it is, like I said, a long process. It takes some time for this. You have to stick with the oven to really make sure that you don't burn them. You know, some, you know, like this one right here, that one's a little more darker. I may not use that one, I don't know. But, I mean, it's almost, if you've ever looked at a leaf in the fall, you know, how it's dry and crumbly, that's what this sort of is. You want to be able to crumble that up in your hands, and then also it to be dry and moist enough. And that's kind of how you check to see if the moisture is all gone, is if you can actually crumble them up in your fingers. After this will go into the food processor, and this will be put into those flakes. I will make these flakes, and you can also take them after you put them in the food processor and you have the flakes. You can take them and, like I said earlier in one of my clips, you can use a sifter and make powder. I've seen it done. I've never done it myself. And that's just because I'd rather use the flakes to put in my soups. You know, after doing this, it does semble, and when you get them like in a jar, it resembles, if anyone's ever used red pepper flakes, that's what it resembles. It does resemble red pepper flakes, but you just want the dried consistency. You don't want any moisture. You want to get out as much moisture as possible before you put it into that processor to, you know, to go back and to crush them up as much as possible, because that's what it's gonna go at. I have something that's sort of like a little miniature ninja bullet, but it's not a ninja bullet. It's called something else. I had purchased it to help make breakfast shakes, and I actually pulverized them in it. And you can still do the same thing. You know, whatever device that you have, try it. You may even try a blender. A blender may pulverize it and shred them enough and make them into the consistency that you desire. But that's the consistency that I like, is the flakes. And like I said, you can use these in soups or stews, anything with a tomato base. Of course, you see I have an oxygen absorber in there as well to keep them moist, so where I can keep the moisture out as well. So that's where we're at right now, guys. Hope you're having fun with this. We'll be back to give you the end results probably tomorrow. I'll probably post something tomorrow with the end result. Hey everyone, I am back. And I am ready to process my tomato skins. And this is what I had left over. This is just one batch, but I've got my little Toastmaster, and this was supposed to be like a breakfast shake maker, and I just used it for this because it just kind of helps. I tried my my immersion blender attachment. It actually had an attachment with like a food meal or processor, but it didn't work so well. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm hoping I can get this in here and show you how I do this. Actually put it in there like that. Okay. I'm gonna put the cap on like that. Wait a minute, hold on. Sorry. That's what happens when you don't have a stand. But anyway, that's what I do. I can use it like that, but let's see what do we got. And that's what we got right there. And so I'll take this and I'll dump it in my jar, and I will start some more. So that's what you see, guys, right there. Actually, what I'll do is I'll put some more in there like this. I'll put the lid back on it, and let's go again. right, guys. That's what we got right there. And that is how I process my tomato skins after drying them out in the oven, which is this portion. This is what you got after drying them out in the oven. And then you just take this, put it in your little grinder, and then you grind them up. And like I said, you could probably take this and put it through a sifter and make it into powder, but I just don't do that for my purpose. This is what I need. So this is the way I process my tomato skins, and I hope, guys, that this helps you. I hope it helps. Also, don't forget, sometimes it is good to have the oxygen absorbers in your jars to keep the moisture out. Okay, so that is it, guys. Thank you. I hope you have fun with this, and I hope it helps someone. Okay, guys, we're gonna try this again. I did try a while ago, but these are my tomato skins that I had left over. I'm putting it in my little food processor slash, this was like a milkshake maker, breakfast maker. It's for liquids, but it does a really good job pulverizing the stuff. So I'm going to show you this. Maybe you can understand what I'm doing. I'm just putting the tomato skins into it. You can do this with a food processor. Like I said, I just don't use my food processor. I like this method for me better. But find a method that works for you. Okay, I still see some big flakes that I don't want. I want it small as I can get. So that's what I'm going to try to get. So I'm going to cut it back on and put some on. And I like the consistency that this gives me. I mean, you can look at that consistency. Maybe, I hope you can see. See, it's almost like a powder, but not quite. It's not quite like a powder. So, see if you can see that. I don't know if you can or not. But it's not quite like a powder. And you may have some flakes in there that you can take out and, you know, work in some more. Okay, I'm just going to add until I have a good bit in this cup. You can hear it when you don't have a big clump in there. You can hear when it's pretty much done. The sound will change. Now, some of you may have sort of like a ninja bullet. You can use a ninja bullet just the same way. And I think it will make it the same consistency. Maybe even coffee grinder. You could probably do like fresh coffee grinder. You could probably do the same thing and really get it to a powder consistency is probably what you can do. But now I like this. I mean, for me, it works, and that's why I do it, because It's what works for me. So, I hope that you guys can see this. I'm not really sure because I can't really see, but that is what I get. And that is what I use. Like if I have any soups or stews that is a tomato-based form, or you know, some people use stew beef and buy the packets. I can use this with the stew beef and add my own seasonings to it instead of having to buy the stew beef packets. So, and that's why I use this like this. It's very good. It's good for like when you're making tomato soup, to use as a thickener instead of cornstarch. So anytime that you use have a tomato-based product, like if you're making ketchup, you could add these powders or these flakes back into it, making ketchup, and make your own ketchup. So I hope you guys get some use out of this. A lot of people have asked, and I appreciate all the comments and the shares and the response. And if there's something else that I can help you with and you're curious over, give me a call or give me a text or a shout, and I'll be glad to help. But I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope it helps someone. And happy canning and preserving. Bye, guys.